Well, busy day today. We got to change the radiator on this vehicle. More on the story of why it's leaking and why I have to replace it. But we're going to go ahead and start out by taking off the intake. Here, there's the stock intake. So we're going to take this off here. There's two bolts here, 10 millimeter. And then we should be able to pull the top off. And then I'll come back to the video to show you how to get the tray off there. Now, this is crazy. I bought this car, no lie, I have maybe 800 miles on it, like that I have driven it since I got the car. Look at this, bro. And this came from a dealership. Like, this is no bullshit, came from a dealership. I just pulled this off. This is how it comes. So this is how dealerships are doing their used cars now. Like, this is crazy and unacceptable. Wild. Anyways. So I decided not to take off the intake all the way. I just folded it back on itself since the radiator is right here and everything I'm going to be working on is right here. This is not going to bother me at all. We're just going to push it back like so. The connector is right here. Maybe I'll decide to take it off. But if you do take it off, it's just this tab here. And that's for the sensor. Instead of taking off the whole sensor, just take the tab off and that wire will come off. I'll get this cleaned up and then get to the bottom. I'm pretty sure there's some bolts in there to take this tray off. And the reason why you want to take it off is because all the radiators here, if you try to pull it off, it's going to end up hitting that tray and it's going to cause problems. So just pull after I clean all this up. Of course, hopefully yours doesn't look like this. But this is ridiculous. I'm just so upset about it. I'm flabbergasted over this. But anyways, pull that off and then we'll be able to start working on this, getting the radiator off. All right, so good news. I thought there was bolts holding it in, but it's not. It's just these three tabs. So you just want to pull up firmly on the actual box and it'll pull off those tabs right there. All right, so next we're going to get started on removing these tabs right here that follows along the grill. And then also at the same time, I'm going to pull off that tab and take the reservoir tank off. And that should get us closer to seeing what we're dealing with to get the radiator off. All right, guys. So after taking off that, the intake area there, I ended up taking it off the whole thing. I ended up just unplugging this right here, which is the sensor wire. So I ended up getting the shroud off here, and I took off also the fan, which is only held in by two 8 millimeter bolts, one on that side and one on that side. Disconnect the wire and it comes right off. The bottom is held in by those two tabs. They go in right in there. So that little slot, that's where it slides in. Now the reason why we're changing the radiator is because of this right here. This, like I said, I got this car from the dealership and I got it in a warranty, and I took the car back to give him a chance to get all this done. The mechanic said he has over 30 years of experience. The car is perfectly fine. Nothing is wrong. Now check this out here. Does that look normal to you? Now every time I park the vehicle after driving it for a little bit, you get a little bit of coolant like smell, like just the smell of it. So I decided, I gave them a chance to do it themselves. I'm also a mechanic myself. I don't have 30 years of experience, but I do know that this is not right and that should be changed. So it looks like it's leaking right from in here. And the reason why there's no coolant on the ground or anywhere down there is because this gets hot. So as the coolant seeps out, it just crystallizes and it stays literally right here. Now you can't see that with the naked eye because the fan shroud is here and the reservoir sits right here. But there's a little window right behind the reservoir where I was able to see this. So if I was able to see it, it means the mechanic was able to see it, and that means he just didn't want to fix it. So let's continue on the build, on the fixing of this. Let's not dwell on that. But now I'm gonna try to drain the coolant out from the bottom. I'm gonna take this hose off and that hose off right here. And you don't. The best way to do it is when you take it off, point it upward so you don't lose more coolant than what you have. You have to lose. And then after that, while that drains, I'm gonna take off these tabs here, and I should be able to get the front grille completely off. All right, so we're up to this point. I had to take this little shroud that's literally like right here. It's that piece right there. I had to drill out the tabs that were here. This is a normal Jeep thing. Usually people won't be able to get them out, so you got to drill them out, drill a hole in the middle, and then it'll come off. I should have taken off this like skid plate but you know what, it kind of worked out because it has a hole. I drained the coolant right from here, come on, get it. Anyways, right from here, and the coolant just falls right into there, falls in the hole into a trap. And then I got the lower hose off, as you can see there, right here and there, and then I got the top hose off. So we're pretty much ready to just start disassembling this section here. So we have the trans cooler and the AC condenser cooler there. So we're gonna take the bolts off. It's 1 and 1, so 2 bolts to hold the, I believe this is the trans cooler, and then behind it is the AC. So you take, there's a bolt up there, 1 in the corner, 1 in the corner, and 1 in there. I have to figure out how I'm gonna get the bottom ones. They look like they're pretty tight, but once you get these off, you should be good to go. Do not take this bolt off. If you're doing the radiator change on these JKs, don't take this off. This is the hose that these 2 lines go into the cooler, right? But it's being held by that plate right there, and that bolt will mess up your whole day. Your day is ruined. If you take that bolt off, take a nap, your day is ruined. So take the top one right there and right there. So it's actually I was wrong. This one has 3 bolts. So 1, 2, 3, and then the one behind has 1, 2, 3, 4. See, even professionals make mistakes. The important part is that the professional catches it. Anyways, all right, let's continue on. Oh, and before I forget, before you start taking everything off and you mess up your day too, make sure that the replacement you got looks exactly the same. Make sure it's the right one. Obviously, I already checked this, but it's okay to double check. I should have gotten a new radiator cap, so I will be getting that because I'm pretty sure somebody in the comments is going to say, you should have gotten a brand new radiator cap. I'm going to get one, relax. I just didn't have time to get one. I actually thought this one came with one, but it didn't. So we're going to have to reuse the old one. And then once I get the car going, I can go grab a new one. Once it cools down, then I'll just change the cap. All right, so everything looks the same, and then you can continue. All right, so once you get those 2 off, they just pretty much slide forward. You're gonna have a bracket, and I'm gonna show you that. You're gonna have a bracket right in there, which is these 2 lines. They're gonna be held in by 8mm bolt, so make sure you get that one. And then there's another one right up here, which is this bracket here. It's held in by 8mm bolt. I couldn't get any footage on it. I honestly had to fight it. Good luck when you're doing it, but take your time. I went ahead and slid in the new radiator, as you can see, and it pretty much slides in. You take these rubber tabs off, put them on the new one, slides right in. Make sure this air dam, it's important that this you don't rip off, and make sure it's set in right. It's supposed to sit like this, pretty much getting the air to come in through here and on this side as well. So yeah, I'm getting pretty tired. The sun is actually blessing me today, and I still got the heat, so I feel fantastic. It's fucking 14 degrees right now, but it feels great, and we're gonna get some snow tonight. So let's get this buttoned up, get some breakfast, and celebrate the win. All right, guys, so here we are. We got everything buttoned up. We got the fan back in. It's pretty much the reverse of what you did. I still got to plug, obviously, the intake in, but I just want to take the time to, admire the work that I did. Also, to make things easier, I don't know if I put this earlier, but you could take this off. There's a 10mm bolt, and you just move it over to the side a little bit. Makes it easier to get to that bolt there. You don't have to take it off, but it made my job easier because I have gargantuan hands, and it makes it difficult to get into tight spaces. Also, having the right tools helps the job get done easy. This is the funnel that I'll be using to burp the system and also fill the radiator up with antifreeze. So carry on, let's see what we can do. Also, I'm gonna clean the throttle body a little bit. I mean, seriously, guys, fucking dealership. Come on, look how filthy that is. It's black. Crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna clean that up a little bit also before I put everything back together, and let's see how she goes. Car's not on yet, but we're gonna go ahead and We already buttoned up the intake here. We got the hose in. We have the reservoir already in there. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this up. And if you have a little issue once you put fluid in and it's not like going down at all, just go ahead and grab this here and just squeeze it. And as you squeeze it, you can see that, you know, the fluid starts to flow in. You don't have to squeeze like a madman, just squeeze a little bit, and you'll see that the bubbles will start to come up and the fluid will start to flow. All right, so after this is like stops bubbling a little bit from filling it, I'm gonna go ahead and start the car and we're gonna go from there. All right, so here we got the vehicle on, and we're just waiting right now for the fans to kick on to make sure everything, the system's all opened up. It's still throwing some bubbles, so we're gonna go ahead and wait for the bubbles to kind of stop. The fan kicks on and the car is fully warmed up. We're gonna put some fluid in the reservoir as it states on the manual, and we're good to go. And once that is done, we're gonna drive it, finishing buttoning up the front, and yeah, should be done. All right, so the install is complete. The burping is complete. I pretty much ran it until the air bubbles stopped, like I said. And once it stopped and I saw that the vehicle was at, you know, at peak, so it was at full hot. The air and the inside of the cabin was actually blowing cold at that time. So I said, all right, you know what, it stopped coming out with air, let me button it up. Took it for a drive. Yeah, immediately after I put it in drive, the vehicle started blowing hot air, so that's good. There's no leaks. Now I did leak a little bit of antifreeze here, and this line is a little loose, but you know, over time I guess I'll try to, you know, fix that up once it's like nice and cool. But other than that, install was actually not that bad. Put everything back together. These tabs that I had to drill out, I put these temporary tabs for now. I'm gonna order the actual like nice tabs, or probably put like a through bolt or something like that. And this way, you know, that air dam thing there could be fit properly. But other than that, I'm cold. It's starting to get a little colder now. My heat just shut it off not so long ago, so I'm already feeling the difference. But took it out for a drive and everything works out great. If you guys are doing this project and changing that out, you know, I have confidence in it. It's not as hard as it looks. You know, it's actually pretty easy. And I've had other vehicles where it was a lot more difficult to change, but this one, not that bad. I say it took me about 2.5 hours to complete. And I've had some people stop by and we were chatting for a little bit. So that's 2.5 hours, you know, all done. So not bad at all.